Sandal train because last year, Dr. Pagano and everybody else, last year, I think that they became more commonplace. I kept seeing more and more, lots of brands came out with the recovery slide sandals. And to tell you my story, you know, Jane Brown is an incredible, she's now a pickleball player, but she's an incredible tennis player. So my daughter and I have come to see her in some of her tournaments. She had a tournament near me, and so she has special, obviously special sneakers that she wears when she plays on the court. And she took them off and she put on these sandals. And I was like, oh, those are neat. What are these? And she said, they're recovery sandals. So I was like, okay, I don't deserve those because I don't do anything really active. Well, guess what, friends? We deserve them. Every one of us deserves them because you stand on your feet all day long. You know, you wash dishes, you do the laundry. Maybe you're in an industry, you do people's hair, you're standing on your feet all day long. You work in retail, I did that for many years. You're standing on your feet all day long. Your feet hurt. Or maybe you wear big girl shoes that would make Dr. Pagano cringe. When you take them off, you put these on and you're like, it's like a foot massage. It's so good. So we were super excited today that we get to bring them to you at a price that's going to go away at the end of the day. That's how good this price is. This is a brand new style for you. Price goes up at the end of the day. You're saving $22 because anywhere else, these would be at least $50. 3 easy pays at $9.33, medium and wide on these. Last year, we did a big deal that was very similar, completely sold out. You all said, we love these. So do you mind if we go through the colors and then we'll talk about, and we'll get your expert advice and definition of a recovery sandal. So if we start, let's start right there if you don't mind. That is going to be your mauve and the mauve shadow. Which is very, almost limited. Good for you guys, because that's a really pretty cheery color, right? Exclusive to QVC. All right, so I'll put you in charge of the spinner thing. Well, all right.
I'll work the turntables.
You'll work
I'm ready.
Gray, and that's a nice medium gray for you. This, I saw Courtney with you last night, and she had this on. She looks great in everything, but she looks so pretty in these. This is called Nougat. So it is like a marshmallow color?
So this, this is the warm white.
Oh, this is warm white.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the warm, what Courtney was wearing last night was our Nougat.
Okay.
Which is both beautiful.
Nougat's tan, warm white's marshmallow.
Yes, exactly, yes.
Okay, good. And then look at this happy bright color. That also is exclusive to QVC. This is our Georgia peach color, so it's a bright coral. And then I throw on the black. Because you may even want to get more than one of these. Like one that you will keep, you know, in your pool bag and vacation, and the other one, like I honestly keep one right by the back door. Never goes anywhere. Got a special spot for it. Yeah,
perfect color, straight black to the floor, just built in, just beautiful.
And then don't forget, we also have navy blue. So we have black, we have navy blue. We have Georgia peach, we'll go backwards, which is exclusive. Here is the warm white, which is the color of a marshmallow. Then we have gray. Then we have our beautiful mauve shadow, most limited, so now's a good time to put it in the cart because you can't fake size, and we'll talk about that. There's the Nougat that Courtney had on last night that looks so good, like a tannish color. And then we have black, so that you know the colors. Medium, 5 through 12. Wide, 6 through 12. These are whole sizes. So if you're a 9.5, you go to the 10. If you're an 8.5, you go to the 9. Otherwise, stay in your true size.
Yeah, true. Right? Yeah, exactly. If you are a whole size, it is true to size. I'm an 11.5. I have them in the men's in a 12.
Oh, yeah, there are
fitting nicely. But what I love, we talked about the history. We talked about that 50 years in Waco, Texas. We started as recovery. And one of my first experiences working in a shoe store was that our orthotics were included as a way to wear in your regular shoes to recover after heavy running. So the fact that now that the recovery movement is beautifully on trend, and as a podiatrist, I love it. I love that last year we had a lot of success. I think this is our best one yet.
Okay.
Why it is a recovery is because there is a large amount of cushioning. Now, this sandal, this slide, is made completely of EVA. So this is a compression molded EVA, and it's one piece. Why is that great?
Yeah, why is
because
that
it
important?
makes it easy.
Okay.
Honestly, it is so durable. I love hearing that Pat wears them after she played. I'm sorry, Jane wears them after she wears them. I hope you're wearing them too around your house, like you said.
I definitely do.
But the actual, they are so flexible. They're going to move with you. The outsole is rugged. It moves. It flexes so beautifully. But the cushioning is there. Then where our recovery comes in, because you have all this shock absorption built in because of the EVA, then we take our full contact comfort footbed. That's the technology that we build. So our ability to put that foot into the perfect position, Pat, is why you get the most recovery from our Revitaligns. The deep heel cup cradles and aligns the heel, which helps with shock absorption. Your arch is supported on both sides, inside and outside. That's very, very important to me, not just pushing the arch up. Then you have our metatarsal dome that relieves the stress and strain from the ball of the foot. So you're getting this pillow on top of a pillow because our insole is built into these. This is our thermal graphic. On a thermal graphic, it's going to show you where there's contact, which means support, and also the amount of pressure you're going to feel, which will lead to fatigue. Left-hand side, all of that black that you see, I always say to my patients, your foot doesn't just move up and down. It moves this way, it moves this way, it moves this way. So that is just walking a tightrope on the left. And you had mentioned.
That's the thing that probably makes you cringe when people,
Exactly.
when you say, do you wear flip-flops? And they go, oh yeah, I wear $5 flip-flops.
Just grab them off the shelf,
yeah.
small, medium, and large.
Yeah.
Then you see ours, Pat. You can see the blue coloring around the metatarsal dome, the full silhouette of the foot. So every step you take, you know, we wear our fancy watches and brag about our steps. Why not have your foundation covered with every step that you take, even around the house?
Yeah.
Right?
These are great slippers for around the house.
Yeah.
I heard you talk about earlier, and I can relate to this, and I bet you can at home too. Sometimes barefoot on the floor at home
For sure.
really, you know, makes your feet hurt by the end of the day. Or if you have something like this on, you were talking about hardwood floors, and that's one of the questions that you ask some of your patients.
Yeah. Well, you know, the last hour I was watching and just enthralled in the skincare, and he had spoken about how, you know, after the age of 20, but think about it, now you have 20 years of miles on your feet.
Yeah.
Right? So you're able, the hardwood floors, you know, they're obviously gorgeous and beautiful, but you know, when I grew up, it was wall-to-wall carpeting in the 70s, so,
which covered up the hardwood floor, right?
But now you need that shock absorption, and that's why recovery, and what I love about Revitalign, what we talk about, is recovery for everybody. You know, this is recovery.
No matter what age.
This isn't, hey, listen, I just finished my 5K, throw these on.
Right.
You know,
and it could be.
It can
could
be,
definitely be
for sure. It can also be. You know what? I had a long day, you know, chasing, you know,
my
kids
grandkids,
around.
the dog,
Exactly.
you know, waiting on people, waiting on tables. And my feet are killing me when I get home. I mean, look, both Crystal, and Crystal has that color on that's flying out of here, that mauve shadow. And then our beautiful Rebecca. Rebecca has wonderful kids. And, you know, she's a flautist. You know, our models aren't just pretty. These girls have got talent. They really do.
Swiss Army knives.
And
great.
so they have very busy lives. We all have busy lives. Here's the other nice thing I love about it. If you want to buy that second pair, please buy the second pair, because we're not going to show these to you again at this price. This is the price that goes away at the end of the day. I can go ahead and put these on my carry-on. I could go ahead and change out of my big girl shoes and put these on, whether I'm at home with slippers or whether, you know, I'm going to, sometimes I walk the dog in them. You know, she's got short legs, so she doesn't walk really far. But
we have a pug, so little tiny legs. Well, you know what too about the carry-on, because you know this is the season. Like my family and I, we like to ski and snowboard and go out west.
Oh, good for you.
It's always a battle with the weight.
Yes, yeah, especially with that.
Yeah, and you'll find me like with a pair of like boots on my shoulders as my carry-on. Honestly, Pat, these weigh nothing.
Yeah, they really don't.
Like they really don't, because EVA, and the bounce. This is one of the things when people will wear it. Think about that as you're hitting the floor, Pat, if you don't mind. As she's hitting the floor, her weight goes through the ground and then goes back up through her legs. So if that is actually absorbing all that shock, you are going to feel the benefits in your feet, in your ankles, hips, knees, just like the song, right?
Yeah.
All the way up to the neck. And it does matter because you're talking about the amount of steps that you've taken both, that day, but also, like I said, the amount of miles that you build up in those feet. We've earned them. Right. I oftentimes will say to a patient, this hurts, that hurts. I'm like, well, you earned that. You've lived a vibrant life. You're doing so beautifully well. Now let's keep you going.
And
as
all
best
you're doing
as we can.
is slipping your feet into these. Try them. You don't like them, you can ship them back. Stay in your true size. There's no reason to change your size. You know now at this point whether you're a medium or whether you're a wide. If I was at home, lots of times I wore a sock with mine.
Yeah. And you know what? I was at my daughter's soccer game, and apparently it's very trendy for the kids.
Do that. Yeah, I bet all the girls
they have their
do that.
soccer socks in, and it's just like a look. And that's one thing that's nice about this. I think that this is, with the age of possibility, this is perfect for the age of possibility, but also wonderful gifts for youth camp, shower shoes, beach.
Yes.
I always joke about how I'm the mule coming back from the beach with all the chairs and hobbling around, and I'm like, I just throw the chairs down, I just get a hose and I just rinse them off. There's so much to do with these.
That's how easy it is to keep them clean. So you can even put them into the washer. I would use cold water. I would just rinse them off with the hose.
Yeah.
And just don't put them in the dryer. There's no need to put them in the dryer. So we know they're lightweight, but here's the difference. They aren't a flat. How many of you have purchased cute sandals and they're flat? And you can sort of feel the little pebbles on the ground underneath. This is what you want as a recovery sandal. And this is even better than what you were able to bring us as the big deal last year, which completely sold out really, really quickly. It wasn't, we got you a one-day price, so instead of almost $50, and on a good day you'd find something like this out there in the store for $50. How much does just an insole? I know we have the set of 2 insoles coming up later.
We have the set of 2 insoles. This is actually
pretty close.
I think this is might be less than.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
less than an insole,
Yeah.
but that's what a today's special value
That's the
is.
beauty
That's
of
why
it.
we only do it one day.
And
so
I
understand that.
And I love the idea, Pat, if anybody has not had this, what a great introduction to the brand.
Yes, exactly.
Because of the ability for any foot type. And you had mentioned about the last year's, but a couple of improvements that we made.
Yeah.
Beautiful windowing, which I think is wonderful to allow the foot to breathe. But also, and speaking to the engineers in Waco, Texas, it's like this does have a little bit of something that's pleasing to the eye, this little cutout here. It actually has a function, because if this was not movable, it might create discomfort. But because of this small opening, it gives you more flexibility.
I love that you're here to explain those things.
Yeah,
So I would look at it and think, well, that's just a nice design. But to know that without that, maybe I would get a brush burn or a rub on there. It wouldn't be as comfortable. Will you take one of those and come over here with me? Because you mentioned shower shoes.
Yes.
You mentioned the pool, the beach. So
I just have a lot of fun with this, right? One of the things, EVA, and EVA is that white stuff that's between the rubber and the shoe part of your running shoe, of your sneaker. So that's where it's all absorbing. So this is one piece fully compressed EVA built into this. So what that means is this is actually full of an air-like portion built into it with our full contact comfort footbed built into it. But what this allows us to do, this is a nice look at that graphic, but just because of that presence, it floats. So that shows why that's able to absorb shock, number one. But also because it is so airy and so light, like you said, machine wash, or like you and I, we just hose them off.
Right.
And then I love that you mentioned, you don't need to throw them into the dryer because, we did this at midnight, and I grab underneath here, I just kind of pat dry myself. But in a few moments, this is completely dry. So it's a really versatile, it's a really beautiful sandal that we've come with Revitalign. But I just love all the bells and whistles.
Here's the other thing, and I'm going to ask you if we could walk back over that way. I don't, and you girls, you can agree with me or disagree with me, but I don't feel like I need to hold these on.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think you don't need to hold these on. One is because of the footbed. We talked about